bet you haven't seen anything like that before. All right, it's my great honor and privilege to bring back to the stage the directors of Deadgirl, Gadi Marcel, and Marcel Ceramento. Sorry. Deadgirl directors. And you guys have some people you'd like to bring up.
Yes. The actors, anybody in the...
Can we have the actors come up, please? And our screenwriter, Trent Haga, where are you? So, first of all, just on a technical level, what we saw wasn't HD cam, that was D-Cinema. So can you explain, because this is the first time we've actually screened a digital film in this format in Midnight Madness, so let's quickly get that out of the way on what they saw.
Well, it was shot with the Viper, and it was, D-Cinema, so it's digital, it all came off a hard drive. No tape was ever used, it's all, yeah.
So essentially, a little box showed up today. You brought this little tiny box, and I think it's the last film of the whole Midnight Madness lineup, and we were waiting for it to get this little tiny box, so this is kind of revolutionary for Midnight Madness. But the next question, I believe, is, Trent, maybe come over here.
I know what, I gotta be the guy who gets blamed for everything.
I'm the blame. Okay. Well, first here, let's introduce the cast.
Yes, we have Shiloh Fernandez, who played Ricky. Deadgirl herself. And of course, Noah Segan. Very lovely man.
So I'm going to start off because you wrote this script. And this was...
Yes.
And this was floating around Hollywood, and for a while it was considered unfilmable.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. I mean, I handed it out there and was like, hey, I got a new script, guys. And they, for some reason, nobody wanted to make it. This was in like 2000. So I've been trying to get it made for many years, and these insane men right here decided to take the chance on it.
So what inspired you guys to take this story, and what attracted you to this dark, twisted little fable?
You know, we read it, we just couldn't put it down. I mean, it was, we were like, both sort of like, whoa, this is, and we looked at each other, and I remember saying, like, sort of laughing, like, well, we can't really do this. And then, but we couldn't get it out of our mind, and I think we thought, I think we can maybe try to do it in a way that sort of, retains all the stuff that was great about it, but also, was, made you uncomfortable, but still make it really watchable. And
engaging without repulsive.
Hopefully, yeah.
Now, how did you have to kind of tune it at all? Was there stuff that, like, was it?
Yes, the original script is pretty harsh.
How so?
Okay, so someone just asked, how so?
Remember the scene where they're touching the bullet wounds? Okay, it didn't stop there.
That sounds much better. Come on.
All right, well here, let's flip this over to the actors, because this is a very challenging script and story and decision to go into it. So, JT.
It just came naturally.
So what drew you to the story?
She come over sometime. It's crazy over at my place.
What attracted you to the story? What elements did you find inviting?
I like fables, and it's a fable to me. It's an allegory, It's a sort of universal tale.
Because it's interesting, because on one point, I mean, it's a horror film, but it's a story about growing up, and it's a story about boys' lives.
Absolutely, that was what drew me to it. It's a movie about friendship, and sort of when you're, I don't know, when you're a teenager, man, you think that your best friend is the end all be all, or at least that's what movies tell us. So.
Anyone else? What?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that it was just about two friends. I didn't really see it as like a crazy kind of scary movie at all. You know, it's kind of just like a situation happened and they dealt with it the way they did. And unfortunately, you know, kids died. But yeah, I you know, just like any other good story, it was just like two really good friends that happened to have a problem that they dealt with in the wrong way. You know? And I thought it was pretty simple. You know?
When I was trying to pitch this to people, because it is a film that you don't want to kind of give away. I mean, you've made a zombie film without ever uttering the Z word. And when I was trying to pitch it to people, I'm like, it's very much elements of Stand By Me and River's Edge. Right?
Stand By Me was the first thing I thought was Stephen King, Stand By Me. That's right there. And the wheel from Jacob's Ladder.
The wheel from Jacob's Ladder, Stand By Me.
On the cart.
And the other question is, for these young directors, you two are the producers of the film. How did you wrangle that? I mean, usually when we have Midnight Madness films, there's always like a couple of really big names before, but you guys are the directors and the producers.
We were the only ones that let us make this movie, so we had to do them. Yeah, is that what you meant?
Well,
yeah.
Michael Bay was like...
Michael Bay was thinking about it, and then he pulled that.
Well, we did have some people who were interested in it and were going to actually give us money and help out, but they always said, you know, we have to change a few things. So.
Like what?
I mean, actually, we raised the money, and to everyone who, it was a very pretty, interesting group of people who gave us money to make this movie, and they all sort of, had the same reaction to the script and saw it, but saw something in it too, and I think it was, kudos to them for taking a chance on something that clearly could have gone in a lot of different directions, so.
Do we have any questions? Okay.